Hey guys, it's Jason from Aquarium Reptile Depot in Citrus Heights, California. Wanted to do a quick unboxing on some heating elements. It's getting cold, especially in our Sacramento area. So your home's probably getting cold too. Like in my house, I don't really turn on the air conditioning if it gets below 76, 78. I don't turn on my heater till it's maybe 68, 70. So I know a lot of customers say, hey, my house is stays warm, stays cool, but between those temperatures, between like 70, 76, it's comfortable. You don't need to turn it on, or you open a window or so forth and so on. But guess what? Your tank is cooling down because ambient temperature is gonna cool down the water. So gotta look at getting a heater. It's a worthy investment. They don't cost a lot, but it protects your tank from fluctuating too much. We have a lot of different price heaters, but we're gonna talk about this Hygger, the quartz tube heater today. This is a 200 watt heater, only $35.99. Here, I'll show you actually. Might be better than to try to explain it that way. So yeah, we're gonna open up the heater right here. So it's a quartz heater, which means it's glass, but it's protected by a plastic shroud. So you don't have to worry about it, you know, hitting the tank, hitting decoration, and potentially breaking it. So it protects it from that. Also, if you have big fish, maybe even turtles, anything like that, that can break heaters, it's again protected by the plastic shroud here. So that's why we like this heater. And then it has the cord, obviously, but it has a controller, a digital controller that I'm gonna show you once we put it in the tank how it works here. So simple, very easy to put together. We're gonna show you how that works, but this heater, how it works is that once it reaches a certain temperature, most in freshwater, saltwater, you know, right around 78 degrees, we're gonna click that temp on, and then it's only gonna turn on if it drops below 78. So if it's 77, it'll turn on. But if it gets to 78, it's gonna turn off. So it doesn't mean that it's constantly always on, but what it does allow it not to do is to fluctuate below or get high or too low. And you can definitely change the heater according to our climate. So if it's warmer, I would recommend setting the heater a little higher so it doesn't drop too low. Or when it gets a little cooler, set it a little lower so it doesn't have to work as hard to get up to temp. But yeah, let's show you how it works in the tank here. All right, we are near the planted tanks where we're gonna set up the Hygger heater here. This, we've already kind of got it started, kind of undid the cord and everything. I already installed one suction cup, but I'm gonna show you how to install the other one. Not rocket science for me to do. So, all done. So now we're just gonna put it onto the tank. Before I put it in the tank, I do recommend putting it where you have some flow in your aquarium so it allows the heat to disperse a little bit better. I'm gonna put it right next to our Tidal 110 here. The Tidal 110s actually have a heater holder, but it won't work with the big kind of plastic shroud. So we're just gonna put it right near it, and it should work out just fine. It's fully submersible, so that means it goes all the way in the water here. And yeah, the suction cups stick on pretty well. So it's in place right now. I do recommend letting it sit for about 30 minutes before actually plugging it in. My explanation is kind of like your windshield in your car when it's cool in the wintertime. You put hot water on it, just gonna cause it to crack. So again, it's still quartz inside of it. It means it's glass. So just let it warm up or get to the temperature of the tank before plugging it in. So give it a little time, and then we're gonna plug it in. All right, so it's been 30 minutes. We plugged it in. It's not the most pretty because we're just showing you how to set it up here, but I just plugged it in. The heater is kind of calibrating itself right now, kind of figuring out what temp it is in the tank. So we can set it here. As you can see, it says it's 74 in the tank right now. So we're gonna probably set it, like I said, about 78 degrees. And that's about it. Let it heat up. It's like set it and forget it kind of thing, right? But I did want to mention to you guys, a thermometer for the tank is really important, just to ensure, yes, it has a thermostat in the heater, but you want something separate just in case it malfunctions. This is a higher one. This is the LCD version that comes with the battery. So it just sits on the outside of the tank and it kind of shows what the temperature inside the tank is. I would put it away from the heater on this one. So I would put it on the opposite end to make sure like that's probably your most constant temperature. And then if you wanted to make sure there's redundancy, so this is another thermostat. It's made by Inkbird here. You plug the heater into this and this plugs into your outlet. So, and it has a probe in there, so it's gonna tell the heater when to turn on. So you have double redundancy, right? So we have the one from Hygger and then another one from Inkbird if you wanted to run it. But yeah, this should keep your tank nice and warm and consistent. So it doesn't matter really what kind of fish you have. If you live in an area, I mean, most places are gonna fluctuate a little bit. It's not worth it to jeopardize your tank for $30 just to protect it, just to know that it is constant. It's gonna make your fish happy. They can't put on a jacket, they can't put on a tank top, you know, so you gotta make sure that their temperature stays consistent throughout the year. So we're on the reptile department now. So for our cold-blooded pets, we have to worry about heat for them as well during the cooler winter months. So we got a heat dome here, and then we have the new ZoomEd infrared heat projector. So both of these combined together will provide heat for your reptile. So this one from ZoomEd is a deep dome, which is a little different than the traditional domes that you see, again, because it's deep. So you can put in bulbs here a little bit larger. The new infrared one is a little bit larger. But the nice thing about this is that it has a cover on it, so it protects the light bulb again, where a lot of the older light bulbs would kind of go out. And the nice thing about this one, it doesn't actually emit any light. So when it doesn't emit light, that means you can keep it on in the evening. So if you have reptiles that can't stand the cooler weather during the nighttime, this is a great bulb that you can just keep on 24 hours a day. That's why we like this. You don't need multiple bulbs and doing different things. But yeah, like in the winter months for reptiles in nature, they probably go into like something called brumation, where it's kind of like hibernation for like a bear, where they just kind of don't do much. But if you're able to keep the temperature warm, they'll be active throughout the year. You'll be able to see them, enjoy them. Plus they'll be able to eat, because that's why they're cold-blooded. So they need the warmth to digest their food. So just always remember that. This one's real easy. You just twist it in like any other fixture. And it looks a little different, like I said, than your traditional ones, but it's flat on the bottom. It sits right on top of the reptile cage, which we'll show you in a little bit. Some other things that we would like to recommend when you heat up your reptile is at least get a thermometer. This one's cool from ZoomEd. It's a thermometer and a humidity gauge. So it's good to verify the temperatures in the cage. I would put at the hottest spot where you feel like the cage is, because then the rest of the spot, rest of the tank or rest of the environment is cool. So you're able to allow the animal to get the hottest part of where they want to be, or they need to get to the coolest spot where they need to be, and there's not an issue there. But redundancy is the best thing to do for animals in general with heating elements, because you don't want it to malfunction, overheat, underheat, so forth and so on. So this is a reptile temp digital thermostat from ZoomEd as well. You plug in the fixture here, and then that you can control the actual temperature. So it'll tell the dome when to turn on and when to turn off for a thermostat. So just remember these are really good investments. This one's $35.99, this one's $13.99. And then these guys here aren't too bad, $22.99 and $28.99. So all these products are from ZoomEd, but we'll show you how it looks like in the tank. All right, we're on the reptile department here, getting our infrared heat emitter set up here. It's already been on for a little bit. So we have our heat gun here, which is gonna tell us our temperature. As you can see, I mean, being this close to it, it's reading 450 degrees or 468, 70. So it's really hot near it, but it won't once it radiates the heat and so forth and so on. So yeah, so once we have it on, like I said earlier, we're gonna put it in on top of this tank, and we're gonna just put it on the hot side of our tank here, which means that's gonna be the warmest part of the tank. This is for a yellow rat snake here. It's starting to cool down and they gotta digest the rodents that they eat. So we keep it on the hot spot. We test the temperature with our heat gun. Our environment is definitely a little different because we have multiple tanks and heat lamps are near each other. So as much as we want to run a thermostat on it, every tank's a little different, so we got to adjust accordingly. And you want to make sure that they come in different wattages too. So you want to make sure, depending on your ambient temperature in your home, if you have other reptiles, other variables in your home, just take that into consideration before buying the proper wattage for your tank. But yeah, we're just gonna hit the heat. It's reading about, it hasn't had much time to heat up, so it's about 80 degrees right now, which on the hot side, and then on the cool side, it's reading a little less, about 72. So if the animal wants to get, like I said, to the warm part, they'll be on this side. If they want to get to the cool spot, they'll be on this side here. Like, pretty self-explanatory for the heat lamp. Pretty easy to install, as you can see. Just plug in and let it do its thing. That basically sums up our winter months in Sacramento here. Just be careful about the temperature of your pets. Make sure that you're keeping it nice and warm, or their proper temperature for them. Come into the store, we stock these items here. We have different options for whatever you need for whatever animal that you have. If you can't come in the store, of course, we have our online store that we're shipping only, depotpet.shop. We do have these products on there, so if you want us to ship anything or anything with your pet, just go on there and we'll be able to ship it to you. But thank you for watching this video. Follow us, subscribe to our channel, comment below. Hopefully you like these videos. Hopefully it's being helpful. Hopefully it's giving you some value, but we'll see you guys on the next one.